You ever feel like you're in Groundhog's Day? Because me and Pat are here to talk about the Chicago Bulls losing to the Detroit Pistons yet again. Groundhog's Day, the movie? Please tell me you've seen
No,
Groundhog's Day.
no, no, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out if that S belongs on hog. Ground, wouldn't it just be Groundhog Day in the plural of groundhog? Groundhog? Ain't it like
No.
deer?
No.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And Pat, we're here to talk about another loss to the Pistons the day after we just talked about a loss to the Pistons. Now, at least the team showed a little bit more fight in this game. This was a much more competitive game, even though the Bulls did lose it and the Pistons were in control the majority of the game. But this game had a completely different feel, and mainly because of a player that I do want to start off kind of isolating out. Dosunmu today. If Vuce did too as well. We'll talk a little bit about Vuce, but Dosunmu showed a lot of that fight that we've been missing from this team, and it would be the guy from Chicago that actually shows the fight for the Chicago Bulls. How you feeling, Pat?
Listen, that's what I was going to point out. The only bright spot on this team is the fact that Dosunmu. Now, in the second half, listen, they were abysmal again. Third quarter, they looked exactly like the Bulls looked yesterday. Nobody could hit the broadside of a barn. I mean, they shot 40% the entire second half from the field. They shot 26% from three, right? So there's a ton of bad still in this game overall. But the one thing that I do like is that you have a player that is willing to do whatever the job that needs to be done. Coming out of that game yesterday, the conversation we had about the team having no heart, the team having no fight, the team not having each other's back, the team not wanting to go out there and give the extra little bit of effort, it kind of felt like you were going to get some of that in that. I think that was early in the second quarter. And Dosunmu turned up on a play on Tobias Harris where I was like, bro, he just knows we got to show that we're not punks.
Yeah.
Like he's literally just going out there and saying, listen, whatever it takes for me to get this team to have some heart, I will do. And I thought that's what him, kind of going at Fontecchio was there, where Fontecchio didn't do anything. He boxed him out well, went for the rebound. Io fought for the rebound. There was a little back and forth, and you were trying to show, hey, listen, you're not going to punk us around like you did yesterday. I like that. The problem is the response of this team is kind of what you expect the response of a team that isn't really like that to be. It's real easy for people to talk tough all until they get hit in the mouth. And when the Bulls got hit in the mouth, it kind of was the end of the game. You look at that second and third quarter, and there was no real fight back. By the time you got to the fourth, it was kind of like the Pistons felt like the big dude that's just holding your head as you're swinging, just like, we gonna fight back. We're trying to fight. The Bulls never really were coming back in that game. And realistically, it's kind of weird to watch a team that in the modern NBA, 11 points is an insurmountable lead.
I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, but it was another bad shooting night from three for the Chicago Bulls as well. 9 of 41 for 22%. Like, and not that the Detroit Pistons shot much better. I mean, they did 10 to 25, right? Only one more made, but they took a lot less. They were more efficient from three. But then when you look at it like points in the paint, 68 to 48 in favor of the Pistons. Fast break points, 28 to 22 in favor of the Pistons, right? Things like that are always going to hurt the Bulls. We gave up 26 points off turnover. So those type of things against a team like the Detroit Pistons to have those athletic players. But then as well, like Cade Cunningham in this game, and like after that dunk, you knew there was nothing going to happen for the Chicago Bulls after that because he swung the momentum.
Nasty. Kane switched to the left, one hand yam, and the foul. That was disgusting.
Yeah,
I should be on Pistons highlight reels for the next 40 years.
That's a fact.
But bro, like, listen, I honestly, dude. One of the things I realized in this game, because Vuce only taking 12 shots today, and yeah, he was efficient. Yes, he started getting it going a little bit more. Did finish out with 21 points defensively, was horrible. But the Bulls offense is kind of passed Vuce by, or what they're trying to run, I should say, because they just don't throw him the basketball for him to try and be a part of it. There was a part of this game where I was like, you're getting cooked in the paint. You're trying to take all these threes, and realistically speaking, it's not going your way, you need to change what you do, which I do hate about this whole shooting the basketball more. Whatever the philosophy is that you come into the game with, that's your philosophy for the game. There's no adjustment. We're not attacking the paint if we came in here expecting to put up 45 threes. But it feels like the offense has really passed Vooch by, because while Vooch made some shots, it didn't feel like he was impacting the game consistently enough for his game to be accentuated by some of the other things that guys were doing, because they just, one, they can never get an entry pass, and it's one of the saddest things in the world, and two, they just really don't look for Vooch to take shots anymore.
I mean, he has been playing bad. I mean, the matchup with Jalen Duren is one that's going to be tough for him anyway. And I love how they talked about the mutual respect that Jalen Duren has for Nikola Vucevic after going to battle with him for 2 games. But Jalen Duren, you won that battle, my boy. You won that battle. It's good to have respect for your victims, but you won that battle.
Victims is crazy.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
Kobe's more of a victim than Vucevic.
No, listen, no. Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson literally own rent-free in Kobe White and Nikola Vucevic's head. And maybe even Ausar Thompson owns some rent-free in Vucevic's head, because there was a possession today where Vuce was on Ausar and he just could not get past him. And I was just like, and it's crazy. You outweigh him by like 50 pounds.
Yeah, as sad as it is to say, dog, I left this game going, wow, the Pistons have a really ridiculously bright future. These boys just got to figure out how to win some of those big games and get in playoff moments. But dog, Ausar Thompson I haven't seen somebody play defense like that in the NBA in a long time.
Yeah, Ausar Thompson is a monster.
He's a monster, bro. Literally, Kobe White couldn't get past half court without him hounding him. Yeah. I was like, I didn't know we still did this in the modern NBA. The Pistons bringing back defense and big man? Please.
The Pistons, the Rockets do it consistently as well. Like, I mean, slowly but surely he's coming back. But I think we just got to start saying, I got to come up with a sound effect for it. Vooch is officially compromised. That is it. He's compromised, bro. Like it's done, bro. Like it's this season is done for Nikola Vucevic. I know we've been saying that he's out of it and things like that, but no, it's past that. Vooch is officially compromised, my boy.
He's done, and you kind of can see it in the play when we got to the second half of this game and things started to not fall right. I don't think the Bulls quit per se, but when you get 4 shots up in the fourth quarter, in the third and fourth quarter, like, you're not looking to be a part of this team. Modest didn't shoot the ball well today. He did shoot a little better in the second half, but like, everybody else is taking shots, and you're supposed to be probably the guy that has the best chance to score, and we're not getting you the ball. Yeah, it's probably done. Because even listen, as much as Jalen Duren dominated today, Vooch was hitting that little push shot. He was hitting that floater when he was backing in on Duren. It was further out. Right, it was a little bit further out than maybe what we're used to seeing Vooch throw, but he was knocking it down efficiently in the first half. And then the Bulls were like, "That's enough of that. Let's relax on that." Whoa, are you trying to win basketball games? Like, how about you calm down? And that's just
Kobe White compromised as well too, bro.
It's just sad. It's just sad with Kirk and Eddie Curry in the house that we had to watch.
Eddie Curry, first of all,
less Eddie Curry, more
like,
Kirk.
Why Eddie Curry? Like, but nonetheless,
why was he on my screen? I'm not gonna lie, like. Has Eddie Curry become Bulls royalty? Like, I don't get why he's getting TV time.
Because Paxson's still on payroll and he drafted him.
Like, I was so confused when I turned the TV on and Eddie Curry was sitting there, and I was like, what the? I guess.
They should turn him away if he tries to come to the building. Like, do you know who I am? That's why you're not getting in. Another thing as a tidbit in this one as well, I don't know how, like, Kevin Huerter's done. Like, I'm done with the Kevin Huerter experiment. Kevin Huerter is absolutely
You want to know what?
Bro.
I'm going to be honest with you.
He's Ginger Denzel Valentine.
That's tough. No, we will not disrespect the Gums like that. The Gums knock threes down. The Gums didn't knock threes down consistently, but he at least hit one. Kevin ain't hit one since he been here.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I really wonder if that was a up top mandate. Because the camera kept cutting to Billy almost after every Kevin play, and Billy was fuming. I was surprised to see Billy mad at players today, actually, for playing poorly.
No, you were on the live call, so you probably didn't hear it. There was that play where they called the non-play on Kobe, and he wasn't mic'd in, but they were close enough, and you heard Billy Donovan say, "Oh, so y'all just not calling anything, right?" I was like, I've never heard the way he said it was like, you've been in Chicago too long, Billy Donovan.
Well, he's from New York.
He said, so you're just not calling anything today, right? Like, it was like,
it was some wild calls today, but that's not the reason you lost this game. But nah, bro, like his look at Kevin Huerter every time Kevin Huerter just didn't. By the way, such a bad defender. If you're not shooting, you shouldn't be on the floor. Even if you're missing, if you're not shooting, you shouldn't be on the floor. This man ran up wide open, a shot I know that I've seen him take. Normally just pull up for three, nothing. This man like tried to drive into the paint and then brought it back out like he was a point guard. Then Giddey was standing there like, what are you doing? Like, please let that experiment be done 3 games in.
And also, when Josh Giddey looks at you and questions your defense, you just got to leave the league, bro. That's the thing there. But next up, we're going to be talking about something that came out today that, we'll talk about in regards to Lonzo Ball. But first, we got to get to a message from Wayfair. After the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. I always find that decluttering and refreshing my space helps me get back into routine. By the way, that's usually when I completely redecorate the studio. Wayfair can help with that as well. Whether you're tidying it up, clearing out, or just want to give your space a new look to start the year, Wayfair has everything you need, all within your budget. I'm currently looking for furniture, and their huge selection makes it easy to find pieces that fit my style and budget. My favorite part? The free and hassle-free delivery, even for the larger items. Wayfair's site was so easy to navigate, and I found everything I needed to in no time. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your New Year home goals with endless inspiration for every space and room. Give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every single style, every home. We're Locked on Bulls after this. All right, Pat. So this is such an unserious franchise. It came out today from Hollinger that the Chicago Bulls were reportedly offered a first-round pick, but they turned it down for because of taking back long-term money. Then I don't know if you've seen it, Pat, because it happened out like right before the game. Did you hear what the rumored deal was? The player that they would have had to take back?
I didn't hear what the rumored deal was.
It was Marcus Smart. It was Marcus Smart. Rumored. This is the rumor part of it. We don't know for sure. Now,
no. Now, the KC did say, he tweeted this out after. I don't know if it was Memphis, though. I thought he said Minnesota.
Yeah, he said Minnesota. He said that because somebody said it was Minnesota that offered. He was like, no, we were in Minnesota when we did the report.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. But yeah, so reportedly, it was Marcus Smart, who, guess what, Pat? Only has, because me and you had a personal conversation. It was like, well, if it's long-term money, if it was like far out past Lonzo.
4-year deal, I got
you. Yeah, 3-4 years after Lonzo. 1 year. Marcus Smart expires at the end of next season.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to take an additional year of a $20 million contract and get a first-round pick back, unprotected by no less for Lonzo Ball. Pat, I don't know about you, but Marcus Smart is pretty respected around the league. I feel like you could have flipped Marcus Smart this offseason if you wanted to.
I feel like there is something there. I feel like there's something that we don't know. He's kind of become one of those, but yeah, I feel like he's got a little windy to him where it's like there's a story behind the scene, because it kind of seems like every team now is just like, all right, you're here. We're not really gonna deal with that though. But maybe that's just me. It seemed like there was kind of a quick shooing of him out of Memphis. You know what I mean? Especially when everybody was like, you're gonna keep Ja Morant in line. It was like, nah, that's enough of that. But as far as the pick goes, I said this when we talked about the Giddey trade. I said this possibility to San Antonio. I said this when we talked about Nikola Vucevic getting traded for Clint Capella just to get him off of the books. They're not following the plan that they said was the plan. They're not following the plan that they set forth as the Bulls' plan to success. My guy, let's talk about the long-term money or the future money. That's what I'm calling it, future money. We're not looking to take back future money. Okay. Why am I watching Kevin Huerter's redheaded trash self shoot on my court? Why is Zach Collins on this team? They are future money. And by the way, a lot of future money. They are $40 million?
Yeah, because they had to match Zach LaVine's contract. Now, the one thing about them as far as in comparison to that is that they still come off 1 year before Zach LaVine would have. So is it just that they just want the same? Like,
No. I get you.
Yeah.
But is it not future money?
Well, it's future money, not in comparison to the money that they gave up to get those guys. That's the way that I view it, right?
I get you.
Yeah.
But we're not taking on future money. If Marcus Smart is the player, you have even less of a leg to stand on because his contract would end the same time that everybody else's does, and he's the one that you might actually be able to move on from. The only player in the trade that looks like he may be worth anything
is Trey Jones.
It's Trey Jones, and he's gone at the end of the year. And you will have a tough time re-signing him.
That is the most Chicago Bulls. You know what? No, this is karma for the Javonte Green, because we made the trade and Javonte Green was the throw-in to make the contracts work. He ended up staying here 2 additional years. Now the trade that we make this time is the player that actually looks like he can actually be a part of this team. That's like, hey, yeah, we're not going to be able to keep him.
And then, like, it's just not wanting a first-round pick back. And I love Lonzo. Listen, I y'all know I love Lonzo. Y'all know I would love to have a healthy Lonzo here. But to not take back a first-round pick for a player that's, let's be real, is injury-prone. The surgery seems like it's working. Guess what? 33 games into the last surgery, it seemed like it was working. Now, the time Lonzo has missed as of recently has been reported as illness. So I don't believe that this is a knee-related thing, although I wouldn't put it above the Bulls to say be sick for a few days until we see why you're sore. But Lonzo Ball seemed very, very healthy until he wasn't. And in 30 games, your brain forgot 2.5 years that you've been paying him $20 million. And he has been sitting on the sideline going, we don't know what the problem is.
We know what's even crazier when you put this all together, Pat? Remember that the Bulls reportedly didn't take Denver's offer for Zach LaVine because they didn't want to take back 2 years of Zeke Nazi's contract at $8 million. $8 million. Not even double digits. $8 million. They wish they would have got Michael Porter Jr. back and their first round pick. I just wanted to throw that out there for the reference.
We don't want future money.
Yeah, we don't want future money.
We don't want future money.
Even though it's $8 million.
Even though you took back more future money.
I mean, his deal did go back longer, but yeah. And on top of that, keep in mind we've been paying Javon Carter more than that for the last 2 years, and he hasn't really played.
It's idiotic. It's idiotic, and I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I said this before, and I mean it now. Hire Garpax. I would rather see Garpax.
Where is Gar right now?
But it's still New Orleans, I believe.
Is he?
Think he's like the head scout in New Orleans.
Hey, that's a good job for him.
Yeah, it explains a lot of New Orleans too. But anything where he's not talking is a good job.
You just don't want him to talk.
Anything
like that's
where he's not. Hire Garpax, bro. That's how bad they are. That's how bad Acme is. I would rather watch them sell me that they believe in Paul Zipser.
We're high on.
Than watch the incompetency that I am watching AK do. This is I don't know, bro. I can't even.
Let me ask you this: if the Bulls luck up, now, regardless of wherever they pick, I don't want to get into if they win the lottery. Wherever they pick,
yeah,
the player that they pick turns into a near star. Modest Vucevic turns into a near star. And we're in 2 years talking about us having 2 young players that we actually can build around. Was it all worth it?
Getting lucky doesn't replace incompetency. Getting lucky doesn't, because you're getting that player with a pick that you traded back for. Right? The Zach LaVine trade, I said you're losing no matter what. It is what it is.
We were always going to lose that.
You're losing that deal.
Yeah.
But you got your pick back. You also probably were going to get this pick, but you got your next 3 picks back. If you find a superstar in there, good job. Here's the problem. Can AK build a team? Getting lucky don't mean you're good. You can't get lucky and build a team. You cannot. You can never get lucky and build a team. You can get lucky and get a pick. You can get lucky and get a great player. You can find a superstar. Can you put a team around him? That was New Orleans' problem with Anthony Davis.
Here's the thing. I do think that if they ever actually got a star, I do think that AK could put a team around him. I think AK's problem is not having a star. And maybe that's just me, but there's something about it that if AK had that one guy where he's like, bet, we finally got him. I think that AK could do a pretty good job because he like, I think that's the case. Now, it takes a lot more than that to actually build a championship team, but I do think at that point he could build a team where we're like, all right, finally, this is the Chicago Bulls. But to get you over the hump there, I don't know, bro. Like AK somewhere smoking a cigar. I don't even know if he cares right now, bro.
Bro, and that's the problem. When you hear about deals like this, when I hear about because it's just pick a lane. You're trying to half pick lanes. You're trying to live in 2 worlds. You're trying to be competitive, but you're not doing that, which I guess is kind of good for this Bulls team. But you're also trying to not take back draft capital because of future money.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that is consistent in the NBA. If you take back long-term, or not even long-term, but if you take back bad money, you get the draft assets. When you go back and look at the DeMar deal, one of the reasons we weren't the team that got the first-round pick in the deal because we didn't want to take on Harrison Barnes' contract. Yeah. Now, it turns out that Harrison Barnes still a pretty solid player when you put him in a system, and they got the first-round pick out of that.
We'd probably hate Harrison Barnes here, but I would take that first-round pick.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather have Harrison Barnes than having Patrick Williams, but that's a story for another day.
Actually, it's a story for this next segment.
Which, let's go ahead and get into that. But Pat, man, so Patrick Williams in this game goes down, and the frustration was there. He threw a towel, and then he walked off the court in his own power. I don't know how concerned you are about that or not, but I will say, and I said this over on my stream, I'm a little bit more concerned about that because it was a non-contact injury.
I mean, I guess I'm concerned from the standpoint of, I don't want to see him be hurt. I don't want to see him go down. I don't want to see him have to deal with injury and have to recover from it. But, this is a risk you took when you signed Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams has not been somebody outside of his second year?
First year and third year.
First year and third year. He's not been a healthy player. The Bulls love to bet on guys who miss time. Last season, 43 games. Second season, 17 games. Like that's kind of just what you have right now with who you've decided to pay, who you've decided to take chances on, who you hope grow. And that's again, it kind of does go back into the previous conversation. Like, it's sad that he went down. It doesn't impact the team to me. What is it?
I mean, I look at it this way: is that get Julian Dalen some more time out there. I just hope that this isn't where Billy Donovan's like, bet more Kevin Huerter minutes, because then I'm going to lose my crap.
I mean, your backup 4 at this point is probably Julian.
Gotta be Julian. Yeah.
Gotta be Julian. I guess this is good for Julian Phillips. I would say, if you want to add some size in there, I've been begging to the heavens for somebody to take a look at Adama Sanogo. I don't know why Billy hates him. He's going to be solid off of the bench. I'm not telling you he's going to come in and give you, 20 and 20, but off of the bench. Do I believe he can give you a block in 10 and 10? Yeah. Do I believe he gives you some size? Yeah. Do I believe he gives you more than what Zach Collins gives you? Yeah. Like you're not even willing to develop your own players.
You
know what I
traded
mean? Like,
for Kevin Huerter, who's about to be 27 years old, in a time where you're supposed to be developing youth, and he's playing ahead of your young player. You know what? I'm looking forward to this All-Star break, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I got nothing left to say. Pat, you got anything left to say before we get
let's get out of here, bro.
Y'all make sure y'all follow us at Locked On Bulls. You can follow Pat at Pat the Designer. You can follow me at CEO Hayes. We will be live again on Friday in the morning. And if Modest Vucevic does win the dunk contest, we'll probably be live after that as well to have some shape, form of fun and excitement around this team. But otherwise, Locked On Bulls is free and available. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can get our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, Odyssey, Amazon Fire TV, and now Roku as well. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace, y'all.
Peace.